In case you don't know us, you're just twisting that dial away and managed to bump into us. This is ZIZ Radio from out of St. Kitts.
Good morning once again, and welcome back to our program this morning. Policing with you, and with me in the studio I have two familiar faces, Superintendent Cromwell Henry and Inspector Francis. Good morning to you both, gentlemen.
Good morning.
What's on your agenda for this morning before we open the lines?
Okay, thank you very much, GQ, for having us. Thank you to the management and staff of ZIZ. I want to say good morning to everyone out there in the listening audience, radio, internet, Facebook, YouTube, all of the above. Welcome to another program of Policing with you. In the studio with me, Superintendent Henry, Divisional A Commander. What we're talking about today, the new regulations are to have made some persons a little happier. Because you see, as more regulations come out and we improve and persons get a little bit more movement. So several measures have been relaxed even more. However, there are still some limits as to how far certain persons are allowed to maneuver given the circumstances with COVID-19. I have Superintendent Henry here, and I'm going to turn over to him so he can mention some do's and don'ts and the new regulation, and then we're going to have a chit-chat, and then we're going to open the lines after him.
Okay.
Over to you, Superintendent.
Thank you, Inspector, and good morning to you, GQ, and your listeners. Yes, Inspector, like you said, there has been some easing of the restrictions from the previous regulations, emergency regulations. We know each iteration of the emergency regulations always bring with it some new freedoms, some easing of the restrictions that we have had to endure over the last 3 months. But of course, these restrictions were intended to make us safe, and that is why we are at the point where we are at now, where we have been COVID-free for the last 2 months, almost 2.5 months. And so the restrictions, this is the result of the restrictions. And so now that we have reached this stage, there is the opportunity now for some of the restrictions to be removed. But we still have to maintain our vigilance, we still have to stand our guard to prevent a relapse back to where we were when we had cases. Some of the restrictions that has been eased is the restriction on the limit to access to beaches. We know persons have been clamoring from day one for the ability to go to the beach. Or people love to know they're on the beach. And in the beginning, the beach was totally off limit, and then you were allowed to go from 5 in the morning until 9 o'clock, and then it was moved from 5 until 10 o'clock, from 9 to 10 o'clock, and then it was moved from 5 to 6 p.m. Well, now has been totally lifted, so you can now go to the beach at midnight. Well, not midnight, because you have to be off the street by midnight. But you could go to the beach at 8 o'clock in the night and make sure you're home by 12. There's no restriction. That's the point I'm trying to make. There's no restriction on your access to the beach.
Okay.
However, there's still some protocols that you have to observe while you're on the beach. You cannot have a party on the beach because those events are still restricted. You cannot have a beach picnic where you have a large group of persons congregating together in a social atmosphere. And of course, you must maintain the 6 feet physical distancing that has been preached from time to time. So the limits on the access to the beach has been removed. However, you must observe the protocols. No picnics, no beach parties, or other social gatherings. Passenger buses, that group of persons have been always complaining that the load that they were allowed to carry was not economical. They cannot operate economically on 50% capacity.
They're making no money.
Right, that is just enough to buy gas, some of them complain. And so, because of our COVID-free status at this point, that restriction has been removed totally, so that there is no restriction on the amount of passengers you can carry under the emergency regulation, except the restrictions that that you have under the traffic regulation with respect to the capacity of the bus. So you could carry your full capacity if the bus is licensed or registered to carry whatever amount. You can now carry that amount. However, again, there are some conditions to it. Persons must wear masks. You must have your windows open so that fresh air can circulate in the vehicle, and you must have practice good hand hygiene and sanitization behavior. That you must sanitize your seats after each trip, and you must have hand sanitizers available for your passengers.
Yes.
Sporting activities were restricted. Now that has been eased somewhat, in that you can now have training and practice sessions for most sporting events, all amateur and recreational sporting events. But of course, the players and the coaching staff have to observe the hygiene and sanitization and the wearing of mask protocols and the social distancing where possible.
Okay.
We are not open yet to spectator events where you have competitions and spectator in the stands. That is still restricted. Only practice and training sessions for now is permitted. Okay. There was also a restriction on the number of persons who could sit at a table in a restaurant. It was 4. That has been increased to 6. 6 members of the same family can now sit at a table at a restaurant. And weddings and funerals can now host the number of persons that the church can accommodate, based on the 6 feet social distancing protocol standard. So that if the church can hold 100 persons observing the 6 feet protocol, then you can have that number of persons at your wedding or funeral. Previously, it was limited to 25, regardless of the size of the church. You can now have as much persons as the church can hold observing the protocols. So those are the main restrictions that were lifted, and so persons can now move about with a bit more comfort. But the protocols that remain are the social distancing, wearing of masks, the sanitization, and the hand hygiene. All those are still in place, and while you're doing all that you're now free to do, we ask that you keep these protocols in mind and practice them. I mean, one would ask, why should I do all these things when you say that we are COVID-free? And it's a fair question. Why must I wear a mask if we are COVID-free? Well, we are COVID-free, but we are only COVID-free until the borders are open. And so it is good to get into the habit of practicing these things now. Because if you wait until a case is imported to start putting on your mask, by the time you put on the mask, you might have already caught it. Because you would not know when the next case would come, and if the next case is here, you don't know, and you're not wearing your mask, you're not practicing the protocols, then you're at risk of being infected. And then once you're infected and you put on your mask, it doesn't help you. It's too late. So we just want persons to get into the habit of doing these things, because when we get that second wave, as is promised, then we'll be prepared. Yes. And the spread would be lessened. The impact would be less, because persons would have already been doing the things that prevents the spread.
Okay.
We see what happened in Antigua. Antigua opened their borders the 1st of June. And by the end of June, they have over 40 cases.
Wow. 40.
40. By the end of June, or before the end of June. I'm now hearing there are 4 hotel workers who have now tested positive. And so it is inevitable that we would have a second wave once the borders are open. So we have to practice these things so that when that time comes, it will not catch us off guard.
Yes, Superintendent, thank you very much. That is kind of scary.
Yes, it is.
That's kind of scary.
Yes, it is.
But it is a known fact that the borders have to be open at some point.
It will open at some point.
At some point. So we'll have to find a time to deal with that. And I do agree with you with practicing now. We have the new norm.
Yeah,
new norm, social distancing,
we
keep on your mask, and so we got to practice that. To move on, Superintendent, with reference to businesses, we realize that the regulation have allowed businesses to open a certain time, Businesses have been encouraged to close at a reasonable time, though, to permit staff and patrons to get off the road by the midnight curfew. Have you observed that this has been happening?
Well, for the last 2 weekends, I have deliberately placed myself in the Figure Bay area at midnight to see what happens. And last weekend, we had about 20 persons line up at the side of the road.
20?
Wow.
At about 12:30, yeah. At least 20 persons we had lined up at the side of the road about 12:30. And they were all coming from establishments in Figure Bay.
Okay.
So it seems as though people are leaving at 12 o'clock to go home, or 5 to 12. Because
So businesses are not closing in time.
At 12:30, you're by the first roundabout in Figure Bay. And clearly that is not what the regulation intends. You should be home by 12 o'clock, not on your way home at 12:30.
Yes.
And so we've seen some businesses have been closing too late, or after they've closed, they hang around, pretending to be closing up, but still entertaining people in the establishment. The regulation requires businesses to be closed at a reasonable time. It mandates restaurants to close at 10. And so we think 10 o'clock is a reasonable time for all businesses to be closed. Because if you have a large crowd up at 11:30, there's no way they're going to be home by 12. And so in order for persons to really wind down and get off the streets, they must have at least that 2 hours. So we are recommending, and we would enforce it at 10 o'clock close off time for all businesses at night.
So you will be implementing that going forward?
Going forward, yes.
Well, should I say enforcing?
Well, yes.
Enforcing.
We started it last Saturday because we recognized what happened Friday. And so Saturday night and Sunday, we insist that everybody close at 10. And there was some improvement. So we hope to see further improvement this weekend. We have a meeting this afternoon with the bar owners in Frigate Bay. And so we are going to drive home that point some more, that they need to close so that the patrons get off the street before midnight.
So they need to close and make sure everybody disperse.
Right. Once they close, hopefully people will leave
and
go home. We hope they will go home and not go somewhere else to hang out. Because we've seen at 11:30 and quarter to 12, vehicles are dashing to get home. And we don't want that. We don't want people to have to be rushing after drinking earlier in the night and you speeding to get home. You increase your risk significantly.
That's true. Yeah, and this is very important, as the superintendent mentioned. And the challenge is that, and we know from one regulation to the next, we get a lot more movement. But if we see this continue as law enforcement, we don't know what the new regulation would come out to fix that problem.
Right. You might just
so right now it's 10 o'clock, so
you might have to close at 8.
You might get a little tighter to ensure that persons
if
are
you close at
off the
10 and you're still on the road by 12, then you might just recommend, hey, let's close them at 8. So hopefully they'll be home by 12. So we don't want to go to that. We believe that the more time you could get to operate, the better it is for you. But we still want to strike a balance where you have the opportunity to earn revenue from your business and at the same time comply with the regulations. So we want to strike that balance. We don't want to shut you down at 8 o'clock just because people should be home by 12.
All right.
Yes. And Superintendent, the Ministry of Health would play a very, very important role in this instance with the COVID-19. We've noticed that the Ministry of Health has indicated that some importance of certain social habits of the persons, all of us living in St. Kitts and Nevis, and the adapt of a new lifestyle, as I said earlier, the new norm. Do you think persons, individual citizens, are understanding and adapting to the new norm?
I think some persons are. I cannot say everybody are really taking it serious, but I'm not so certain that some persons are, because you see those persons are wearing the mask. I get calls all the time of persons who would call to complain that they were on this bus and nobody on the bus had on masks but them. And so it shows that there is concern still out there. But we seem like we have to, it's going to take some time for us to get accustomed to it. And so we have to really continue to repeat it, keep saying it, so that people hear it every day. And hopefully once they keep hearing it, they walk away. We have to be serious. So let's do it because they keep saying it, so it has to be serious. And that is what we are doing at this point. Persons, not everyone has yet taken it as serious as they should. They're still of the view that because there are no cases, we are COVID-free, so to speak, that there's no need for them to take these precautions. What am I taking precaution against? That is what they're asking, and so they're not taking it serious. But as I said before, you are preparing for the time when you would have to do it. It's not going to be easy for you to not wearing a mask all the time and then suddenly start to wear a mask, and it comes second nature. It has to build up, and once we build up that habit, now by the time we have a second wave, it would be less impactful on us.
Yes, and to add to that, the strange thing is, not the strange thing, but we as individuals living in St. Kitts Nevis, we're not an island federation separate and apart from the entire world.
Right.
So
part of a global community.
Exactly, and we look at the TV, radio, internet, and we see what's happening in other countries. And we are blessed here that we haven't had any death with reference to COVID-19.
Right.
So we don't want it to reach to that stage where only when somebody dies from COVID-19 we start to take it serious. So we now have to abide by what the Ministry of Health say, and we have to adapt to the new norm. And I know law enforcement, police, customs, defense force, those other areas and health departments, and we're going on and making sure that persons are enforcing these things, and it's important for us to continue doing that.
Right.
GQ is.
Just before you go, I was reading the article. I was looking for it, but I can't find it. I read an article this morning where PAHO is projecting that the Caribbean and Latin America would see by the 1st of October would see well, the number of cases in this region would quadruple. Quadruple. Caribbean and Latin America.
Wow.
Of course, the Caribbean.
Not double, not triple.
In a better position than Latin America, but they project that the number of cases and deaths would quadruple by October if we do not begin to take steps now. If we continue the way we are doing things now, not really complying and abiding by these protocols, we will see our cases quadruple by October. And
that is a sad statement.
Yeah. And they made reference, it's more so in Latin America. Brazil, that has the second highest number of cases in the world, second to the United States. And that particular region, Latin America, is at risk for to have seen that happen unless they really take steps. But the Caribbean is lumped into that grouping, so they say the Caribbean and Latin America.
Okay.
So we can't distance ourselves. We have to take it serious and really comply and abide by the precautions, the recommendations of the health professionals.
Yes. JQ, can we have a
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Word from our sponsors, if there's a sponsor, and then when we come back, we get some calls.
Yes, and the number to call when we return will be 465-2555. And for those of you overseas, 718-577-2916.
Want to work with animals? Please follow these tips to avoid getting the coronavirus. Please keep pets away from areas where you are preparing food and eating your meals. Thoroughly wash your hands after handling animals and animal waste. Avoid contact with sick or stray animals. And always remember to wear protective gowns, gloves, and facial protection when handling them. As the novel coronavirus spreads, it is important that you continually disinfect your home. Viruses can gather on surfaces such as doorknobs, computer keyboards and mouse, cell phones, tablets, railings, kitchen and bathroom countertops, and remote control devices. To avoid transfer of viruses, wipe down these surfaces regularly with disinfectants such as Clorox, Lysol wipes, or soap and water. Avoid touching your face or your loved one's faces after touching any of these types of surfaces. It is very easy for viruses to be transferred in this way. When preparing food, be sure to use different knives and cutting boards for raw meat and cooked foods. Wash your hands before and after handling raw meats. Also, wash your hands before and after using cooked food. Be sure to cook food thoroughly before eating it. This is a message from the Ministry of Health and the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA.
At FarmCare Pharmacy, we continue to expand our offerings to meet our customers' needs. We are home to your favorite products and brands, including Alcolado, bodybuilding supplements, Canadian healing oil, Limacol, Ferrol, SSS tonic, Smokers Extra Hard toothbrush, Kayla stockings, and many more. Stop by our 4th Street store from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Or visit our Bird Rock branch 9 a.m. to 7 a.m. Monday through Saturday, on Sundays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We are the preferred pharmacy in St. Kitts and Nevis and are committed to serve you better. Farm Care, for your wellness, comfort and privacy.
They're the best I know. That's the only place to go.
Boy, why you look so unhappy? And why your car light so yellow? And your paint so dull?
Boy, look, has to be honest, right? Me kind of bad state, you know. And I realize, but I ain't even know where to go. I will want me car look and feel brand new again. Give me that good up feeling, you know what I mean?
Well, look no further, me boy. Double the services after detailing could get your lights bright as ever and buff your car like brand new. And when I say brand new, I mean brand new. You man hard, I tell you. You just got to wear shades after he finished with your vehicle because it thing's so bright.
Well. That sounds excellent, Jared. Me, give me your number and location, you see? Let me book an appointment.
Double the Services is located at Linefield Project in the village, Bastia, St. Kitts. You can contact them at 763-9362. You can also locate them on Facebook, Google, and Instagram. Double D Services, perfection in the details.
All right, welcome back. Gentlemen, I see Inspector is ready. Superintendent Henry, can you put on your headphones here for me, please, while we get to our first call in? Let me say good morning. Hi, you live?
Good morning, JQ.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
And good morning to the good superintendent here and the good inspector.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah. Now, my little input to you all this morning. Now the restriction is up, especially on the passenger bus. You see them, you see the people them going without mask. Some of them don't even got a mask. Some got a mask, but they don't put it on. Yeah, listen, okay, people supposed to do the discussion. Listen to me. Now, I don't got my mask. Anytime I go, I make sure I got a mask in my pocket or in my bag, if I got a bag. And when I go into any business place, I know that I can't go in there without a mask. I must have a mask. And I know that I can't jump on a passenger bus without a mask. I must get a mask. Even if somebody give me a ride. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And this is thing, we are big people. I do not think you are supposed to take all these harassment to tell big people must wear a mask. Because they watch the news every day. Every day they see what's going on in different parts of the world with this corona. How much country get affected, how much people dying still. And I do not think you are supposed to really tell big people what to do, especially the business place. They must say, oh, district now forget me. You know, they're going overtime. They're not supposed to close 12 o'clock. How would they go to close 9? Close 9 that everybody could get up, you know? When they done party, they could get to the chance. If they're not beggar word, go home, the beggar word, come home. And the next thing again before go, where you all got in place, like the law, in place to fake news. Because yesterday I was in town, and I went to one of the Indian store. And the guy called me, Mr. Politics, come here. Show me. What you want to tell me, the country going to close down again? I said, what do you mean by that? They come. He started to play something there. That 64 cases.
Mm-hmm.
64 cases, yeah, 64 cases. I said, no. I don't want to call him. No, not like that. Man, you must listen to the Daily Report and the local news. This thing is just fake coming things. Calling him, but this thing is just fake news to make the country look bad. Nothing like that, but so. And he there works because he don't want to lose business. He don't want the country closed down to lose business again. So me tell him nothing like that, but so. And you must listen to the local news. So afterwards I say, man, I'm going buddy, and this afternoon you're going to hear. And this man you're going to look with me. When I get in town, I'm going to look with him and ask him, where you here? All right then, man, good program. You are trying your best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
You want to take another call?
Yeah, let's take another call.
Good morning.
Good morning again.
Yes, Ed Jr.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, sir.
As usual, great show. And I think we, in the Federation, we are taking this COVID-19 for granted. And there's a lot of persons who feel like we can go back to how it was. So that's why you're finding persons are not abiding by the rules and the regulation, and it's sad. Because just the other day I had reason to drive on a bus, and I was so disappointed. Practically everybody in the bus didn't have on the mask. I had to be the devil advocate. Said, well, the bus driver had to turn to him and said, the bus man, I realized practically everybody in the bus is not wearing masks. But by the time I said that, I don't know if some person maybe know me personally, so they started to put on their masks. But what I find is that some of the foreigners, quote unquote, they are not wearing the mask at all, because the driver, and there was a guy, I see him, he's from Guyana, and he was saying, why the reason should I wear a mask? You all say you are COVID-19. By the time he made a statement, it showed that they have a tendency not to care, because most of the local persons did put on a mask, but he was adamant that I'm not putting on any mask. You all said you are COVID-19, why should I wear a mask? And just like how the superintendent said, yes, we are COVID-19 for now, but what about when the borders reopen? And the quicker we start to practice these things, it will be much easier for us. We don't want to wait until we have a big spread. And as the superintendent said, we persons come in with the COVID-19, it's spread. You have on the mask by the time it's too late. So it may as well we just start to practice now, and it will be much easier for us. But I think a lot of us are taking it for granted. It's sad that here is it. I remember when the show started, superintendent came on, it was basically curfew.
That's true.
But now we reach to the stage where we can go to the beach, you know what I mean, you can go out and enjoy yourself, but we don't have any limit, and that is one of our biggest problems. We tend not to have any limit, and the reality to life going forward is going to have to, we have to adjust to the new norm.
Yes.
The quicker we understand it, the better for all of us, because we're not going to go back to how it was back then. So I just want to encourage persons to listen to the advice. Yes, we are in good standing, but do not take it for granted. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yes, thank you. I want to also thank the caller for the initiative he took when he was on the bus. And we need more persons like those in society who would call out wrong when wrong is happening, especially for the benefit of everybody else. Yes. Any more callers?
Yes, we do. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Isn't there a penalty for when one is not wearing a mask, especially like on transportation, public transportation?
Yes, there is.
And who's supposed to be paying that penalty? Is it the bus operator, or is it the person who disregards the advice of the health people and the regulations?
The person who is disregarding.
Well, why isn't it being enforced? I think you all should have some spot checks on vehicles and penalty, put on the penalty, because a lot of people don't understand things unless they feel it in their pocket.
That's true.
So stop talking about they ain't got it on and da. Bring down the hammer of the law. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, caller. I wanna thank that caller for that comment, but I would add that police can't be everywhere. That is where we have policing with you, police with society. The police cannot be everywhere. We know criminals, we know persons who are not as law-abiding as they should be. A police officer come in that you know you got your mask. As he got you pull it off. You know what I mean? So we need, in addition to, you know, the police enforcing.
We prefer voluntary compliance.
Good, voluntary compliance.
Because if we have to, people only act when they see police, then it means that people will not going to act because of police. We are numbered. 50,000 persons in St.
And you know, it's adults doing these things.
Police.
So call out the other person, say, man, you know better. Put on your mask now, man. It's for all of us benefit. And it's easier that way. It's much easier that way.
You ready for another call?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Let's go to the overseas. And good morning to you.
Good morning, GQ. Good morning, Soup. Good morning, Inspector.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, morning, Cass.
I know, GQ, you know who I be, so don't even bother coming here.
Too late.
But I'm just calling to let people know. If they think that this sickness is for just people who live in America and who live anywhere in the outer world, they don't want it to reach our shores. It's not something that you could play with, because I have 15 of my friends who I normally used to go and play domino. And the reason why I used to go and play domino, because it's a thing that, we normally used to have at the police station. And now 5 of them have it. So I don't even have no friends here in the US now.
Yeah, domino friends now. That's sad.
Not domino friends, no kind of friends at all, because I'm locked up like I'm in prison.
Wow.
I'm locked up like I'm in prison, because every time, even though when I go out, as soon as before you even enter into even a bank, they're testing you. And that's the funny thing about it. Right now, if I know if I was a police officer back home, I would have been good. Because I know I would have be able to stay the distance and be good at it. But now, because you're living here in the outer world, you can take this thing and think it's for granted. You don't want it to come to your shores. If it come to your shores, I'm telling you, people ain't gonna like it. So just listen to what you all say. I mean, it's not a game. People think it's a game, and it's not a game. It's not like a football game. Somebody score 1 and then somebody come back and score 2. Okay, so I just have to let the people them know. So do the right thing. Whatever is said, just do the right thing. Follow the rules, follow the regulation. Cause the second wave come, they ain't gonna like it. Okay, that's my 2 little cents in GQ.
Yes,
Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, super. Okay, Inspector.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Carla, for that warning and admonishment from overseas.
Right.
Thank you very much.
He's giving his experience, relating his experience, and we are not immune from it. That would be our experience here if we don't really take heed and follow the guidance.
Yes.
All right, let's take another call. Hi, good morning. You are live.
Yeah. Officers Megan.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
yeah. Do you know that you got some educated people here, some of them in authorities, and some of them calling and radio talk show, telling people don't wear masks? The government is putting this ban on them and all kind of thing, enforcing this on them. Like they're going back to slavery and all these things.
You mean in
people doing it?
In Singets?
Yeah, there's people doing it. People calling on the radio so that they will never wear masks. And government is putting restrictions on people. We police them to people to wear masks. That is wrong. That is like going back to slavery and going back to this and all kind of thing. Officers. And you see, I can tell you, just like I feel that Carla just now, the overseas Carla. Because he know where he be in and he know where he feeling. And he from this country. And he just telling us that if the situation had to happen like where he be right now. You understand? What we gonna come us? What gonna become of us? We gonna go to lockdown, we can be going back again to maybe, and maybe we'll see something else different in the country with our economy. So if the more we prevent these things from happening, it's better for the economy, better for our people. Can't the borders gonna open. We don't want to feel and get it. And if we get it, that we will just go down get some kind of control to control it to put things in place.
Right.
Man, wonderful program as usual again, man. You all doing a good job.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
I would like to know how he got it done, man. 3 lines was ringing just now, and he got in.
He's a lucky one.
He's a lucky guy. We lost that one. Good morning, you're live.
Question to the officer. Good morning.
Good morning.
What if you're in your own trance? You must wear the mask?
Well, no. These required when you are in public places. So if you're in your comfort of your own vehicle or you're by yourself, then you could take it off.
Okay.
But once you're out in the public space where other persons are, then you should have it off.
Yes. Okay, thanks.
Yes. Thank you very much.
All right, let's take this next call. Good morning. Hey.
You see how later come in?
Boy, I realize.
I want you come and, you and the police, them, they come and help me get rid of me vex. Officer, all I call to say, I endorse everything all the callers before me say. And all I got to say now is that, please, Stop telling people put on the mask when you meet them ain't wearing it when this where they're supposed to be wearing it. Give them an invitation to Mr. Limo house. When they feel it in the pocket, they're going to respect the law. You hear the ignorance what one of them say? But that way you must wear a mask? People telling him put it on. All look at them, they say don't listen to the program. Who educating the nation? The ignorant people, and if them they could be ignorant. Well, you ain't going to be ignorant, but you're going to show them there are people who out there to enforce the law and uphold the law. Give them a ticket to Mr. Limo house. Stop talk to them. Stop it. All right, they're deliberately doing it. Well, shut your ear and summon them. Have a good day. Sure are you.
Yes, man.
Thank you very much, sir, for that.
Hi, good morning. You're live.
Good morning.
Yes, morning.
Good morning.
So when you train, you're supposed to wear a mask?
Say that again. Speak again. Louder.
Hold on. Let me turn on the radio. I was asking, when you train, you're supposed to have on a mask?
Tell me, JK, when you're training?
In sports, well, it will be difficult for you to have on play football and wear a mask. You have to breathe, and the mask would affect your breathing. So no, we don't expect that you will be wearing a mask while you're in playing the sports. But once you would have come off the field and on the bench or on the locker room, you should have on a mask.
So once you come out, you must
once
have
you come
on
off the field, you put on your mask. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Let's take this next call. Hi, good morning.
Hey, GQ, I call him back again. And you know the reason why I call back? Because I understand what the superintendent said not too long ago on that call. But let me put it in the superintendent head. Superintendent, not because you in your own vehicle, you don't wear a mask. Because, okay, if you drive in one of the police vehicle, and let's say your own personal vehicle, and you pick up John Joe to bring John Joe from Sandy Point to Bastille, and you don't have on your mask, it's trouble in the arena when it comes. Because the other person don't have on a mask, you don't have on a mask, so you don't know what Mary Joe was while you're giving her a ride. So you have to put on your mask. If you alone in your vehicle,
that is what I said.
Then you don't have.
That's what I said.
You don't have to wear a mask.
I said if you're in your vehicle alone, you don't have to.
And okay, if you're alone, then you don't have to wear a mask.
Right.
Because listen, the last holiday deal here in Miami, when all the bars them open and the people start going to the beach, no, it's 51% the rate is right now. 51% increase. And because the governor here didn't want to shut down the place again. So he's saying that now it's mandatory. Everybody in Miami must wear a mask. Whether you're shopping, whether you're driving, whether you're walking, whether you're sleeping, you've got to wear a mask. Otherwise, you're going to get locked up. And St. Kitts don't want to become like that. Because if they think they want to come like that, let them wait until they really hit the shores. Well, one person got to go up in Springfield Cemetery, and then they would understand how serious it is. It's a joke for them because nothing happened yet. But when something happened, and they realize that's like a snake or like a little mongoose coming out of the cane field, and you know, you like a mango's tail and it's like running the button on all the cane field them. If they want that to happen, let them keep playing with it. Learn the thing now so that if you get the second wave, you don't have to worry about that because you already done prepare yourself for it. It's like putting on a baby pamper, so you know the pamper wet, you gotta change it. Just keep doing it all the time until when the borders open, then you don't have to worry about that. All right, thank you again,
Yes,
GQ. Sorry to bother you.
Thank you very much. GQ,
Not a bother, man. Not a bother.
Can you give your last two calls?
Yes, you can, sir.
Yes, please.
Good morning. You're live.
Hey, partner, what's ya? I want to say happy birthday to Basil Sherman Moshat, right?
Yes, thanks for calling, though, man. But that's for another program right now. We're dealing with COVID-related issues as it relates to the regulations here.
Yes.
So we'll take one more call. And I know Mr. Chambers, so if you're listening, Mr. Chambers, happy birthday to you. He's a fellow media practitioner as well. So
happy birthday to you.
Yes. Well, we don't have any more calls at the moment, so over to you. You can start your wrapping up now if you like.
Okay, Superintendent. Some persons are suffering from regulation fatigue. What would you say to encourage them in your wrapping up? Regulation fatigue, I was told.
I don't understand the term because
no, neither do I.
we have so much easing. I mean, we're almost back to normal. The only thing is the night curfew, and we having to wear masks.
The midnight and yeah.
Right, but we're almost back to normal. You can't have certain events.
I guess don't want to hear no regulations anymore.
You understand? Regulation fatigue.
Well, for those of you who have regulation fatigue, I mean, just try some coping mechanisms. Find something that you like that you can do, and focus on that. Don't focus on the things that you cannot do. Focus on the things that you can do. You can practice, you can play sports, you could go to the beach, you could go to the restaurant, you could go to the bar. Just do those things that you can do, and don't focus on the things that you can't do. If you focus on the things that you can't do, you're going to get depressed.
Good point.
Look on the brighter side. Do the things that you could do.
Good point.
And make yourself happy.
Thank you very much, sir. Any wrapping up points?
Well, as I say, we just want to admonish persons. You know, some callers are calling on us to enforce the law in terms of penalties, you know, make arrests, take people before the court. Those are options that are available to us. But you see how restrained we are. We are going the education route for now. We are preaching to people day after they comply with the regulations. This is what the regulations say. We are ensuring that we saturate the airwaves with this information so that when the time comes, when we begin to enforce in terms of making arrests, in terms of taking people before the court, we cannot be accused of being heavy-handed and be unreasonable. Those persons themselves will be unreasonable if they think that we are unreasonable, because we are taking all this time to educate. The time is going to come when we're not going to do it. We are just going to enforce, and we are going to enforce to the full extent of the law. And some persons are going to think that we are unreasonable. You could give the man a break. It's just the first time, you know.
Yeah,
but
that's true. All I'm going to talk.
We have been saying it day after day, week after week, and the time is going to come when we are going to act. We already have 100 and something persons before the court. Well, over 100 arrests. Half of those will be going before the court. We don't know what the court is going to do as yet. But the rest of you who haven't been in the system in that way, you could avoid it. Just comply.
Yes. Thank you very much, Superintendent, for those closing comments. From me, I would like to say thank you, GQ. Thank you for the management, to the management and staff of ZAZ. Thanks to the overseas callers and the local callers, the local listeners and the overseas listeners. I want to thank the persons for tuning into ZAZ and Policing with You. We are police with the society. We're coming together to make it safer in the Federation. Thank you very much, GQ. See you when I see you.
Yes, man.
God bless.
God bless. And you can tune in next week, same time, same place, for another edition of Policing with You. Might not be the same host. It might be Inspector Alvic Edwards, or it might be Sergeant Siobhan. All right? So, but nevertheless, our program will be on, so please do tune in next week, same time. Stay tuned. Up next, we have Battle of the Bands, Battle of the Ladies, I should say. We have Pat Ross out of St. Kitts taking on Lady Saw, or should I say Minister Hall, Marion Hall, formerly known as Lady Saw. Who's going to win this one? Stay tuned and find out.